NCRP Productions welcomes you back to another episode of Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands, Episode 2. Alright, well, welcome back to Unhallowed Metropolis. I'm Barry, I will be running the game, and we'll go around with introductions.
I am Jill, and I am playing Raya Patel, the Mourner.
This is Matt, I am playing Ayden Carter, I'm the Antiquarian.
Hello everybody, it's Ty. I'm running Ray Callahan, and I am our Pugilist.
Hello, I'm Michael. I'm playing Dr. Everett Wolf, a doctor specializing in chemistry and alchemy.
Hi, it's Sequoia, and I'm playing Frankie, the Undertaker.
Hey everybody, it's Pedro. I'm playing Dr. Desmond Wright, the other doctor. The original doctor.
The family doctor, the original doctor. There
the
you go.
with a capital T.
Alrighty, so one thing before we get going, I had made descriptions to you guys of traveling through Cairo, and when I pulled up the map that I was utilizing, I didn't quite do it right, so I had you guys pretty much go in a straight line from the airfield to Ayden's home. It's not a straight line, it's basically a curve. So the airfield, and I'm not going to pass it around, but just for ease, the airfield is up here in the upper corner. You guys came around past, this is the palace I was talking about. It's actually called the Citadel in most maps for Cairo. Come around here, and then you guys came through the tenements and ended up down here. He is down here. The Egyptian mourners, the whalers, are sitting on the opposite side of this waterways. The area that, the necropolis. Also, you'll know this as the Fela temples. This is where the commoners are buried. Something that you're going to know, I don't know how important it's going to be just for flavor though, the wealthy are still endeavoring to bury the wealthy out in Giza when they can. At least as far as you've seen in the time you are here, they have not been going to any of the other major temples or sites because we're not losing pharaohs, we're just losing people of note, people of wealth. The whalers on the other side of the water there from the necropolis and the Fela temples, the Fela temples are basically the commoners' temples, and then the necropolis itself is for the wealthier that don't want to send out to Giza. And in the time that you've been here, which has been many years, your whole life, if I remember correctly, right? In the time that you've been here, there has never been a time where the animates have crossed back over that waterways. The waterways also is a whole lot bigger than I had insinuated. I kind of suggested it might be a small stream. It's actually a large cut river. There are a number of ways over there. They will put out wood planks. They will stretch across the waterways to get people over there. So when a procession goes over to take people to bury in the temples, they will push out these wood bridges. So anyway, that's that one. It doesn't change any of the description I gave you guys other than the fact that it seemed like a straight line. And it probably would have seemed mostly like a straight line for you guys. There are other areas of the city that you will know, and if there's a need to get there, we will. The airstrip is still what I was telling you guys as far as description. So last game, we ended up with you guys landing the airship, the Zeppelin, over at the airfield. It got locked in place. The group who came on the airship was met by both Ray and Ayden, was brought back to Ayden's home. Ray does not live here, right?
Nope.
Yeah, Ray lives, I think, in the tenements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edge of town.
so he's close, but not in here. But you guys were.
Well, actually, you set me up with a room, correct?
Yeah.
For now.
Right.
Oh, okay. Or since he's been working with you.
For now, since everyone's here.
For everyone here. Okay. So you are with the group at this point, but you do still have a place in town.
I do have a place in town. Yeah.
You are on the job, as it were. So
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
You guys were brought in. You were shown around both Ayden's building and the building next door, which I don't know if he told you, but for story's sake, he had rented from the people who own the shop and the building next door. They are staying in another space that he's paid for. I don't know that any of the group of you guys would think about it, but would you consider asking about cost, it could be a faux pas, but asking about costs or anything like that?
No.
Wolf
All right.
hasn't because Wright seems to be under the assumption that Grayling is paying for all this. Which
Okay.
seems to be
that
the.
is- no, that
Well, I
works.
mean, yeah, that was my assumption.
that works for me. I don't have to go into a whole lot of other detail.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, no, it wouldn't come to mind. I just, anything you need, Grayling's got it.
So in the process going forward, you guys were shown around, were allowed to go relax for a bit, and then were treated to a feast. Now, Ayden, did you offer hashish to everyone, or was that specific to the doctor?
That was specific to the doctor because of his unique taste.
Very good. And you
Quite a taste it was.
you got that from Grayling, from your talk with Grayling?
Yeah, we said I kind of inferred it from
Very
certain
good.
things he said.
All right. So at the feast itself, you guys enjoyed a many-course meal. At some point, I would have to believe that Ayden would let you guys know that this was something exceptional. This is not the way. This is certainly not the way normal people eat, which Ray can shake his head and go, absolutely not. But even the wealthy, maybe the Caliph, but even the wealthy don't eat like this on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. This was a special meal. And winding down in the special meal, as you guys were coming to it, Ayden had brought up to the group, has anyone heard of the Philosopher's Stone? And that's where we quit it last game.
I think we had since shepherded the super high doctor back to the table.
Yes, he was
Yes.
he was there at the point when you guys were discussing.
I'm eating. I'm very talkative. And you mentioned the Philosopher's Stone. And I forget, did we say last game that I know of that inherently, or do I need to make a roll?
No, you made the roll.
That's right. Excellent. So yeah.
Wolf knows the ins and outs because he was the one talking about alchemy, and that's what brought the subject up in the first place.
So if you bring that up, oh yes, Philosopher's Stone. It's quite an interesting tale. Wouldn't that just be wonderful? Imagine the things we could do. Just not even the lead to gold. That would be fine and all, but just the idea, the concept of life and what you could do with that, and perhaps you could even stop whatever's happening with this animate problem. Perhaps we could do something about that. But yes, I mean the possibilities are limitless.
I would disagree on the marvels of immortality, Dr. Wright. Immortality is a wonderful fancy, but ultimately what immortality leads to is stagnation. If the theory of the Philosopher's Stone is true, that one is to be captured with eternal youth and eternal life, there is no adaptation. There is no change in the world. Humanity needs to adapt and evolve in order to overcome the things. We are not the same people that we were 200 years ago, or even 400 years ago when the animates first came about.
Excuse me, my friends. And Marud steps up from the table, sets his napkin down, and walks away from the table. Cal watches him for just a moment, and then looks back at you.
So are we talking magic or science? Because Philosopher's Stone is something you'd be chopping through a mystical jungle through.
Yes, but that is the point, my boy. Is it mystical? Is it magic? Or is it science? That is the true question. And when I disagree with you, Dr. Wolf, is that, yes, many would fall to stagnation, but when you have a mind as great as mine, or perhaps even your own, but certainly mine, if I had more years, imagine what I could create, what I could make, what I could unlock. It's the possibilities are limitless. This is very good food. If I mentioned that, Ayden, very good.
Typically, you go after said artifacts, and Frankie and I defend you like you go after said artifacts.
Exactly, and that is why you keep around your friends and colleagues, so that they can help you out in situations that you need help in. Ain't that right, Frankie, my boy?
Yeah, sure, Doc.
Ayden, may I ask you? Are you suggesting then, and this is Billings, Arthur Billings speaking to you, are you suggesting then that the Philosopher's Stone is here in Cairo, or possibly here in the Egyptian deserts?
I'm not making that suggestion. It could be a possibility. I was merely interested, since my understanding was Dr. Wolf here was an alchemist. I figured he may have great knowledge about it, and
This is something then that you search for.
it is an interest of mine, yes.
Very good.
I feel that it may quite possibly be the solution to the animate plague.
How so? How so?
You know, there's many cultures that speak of imbalances, and imbalances leading to the dead coming back. Perhaps something of this nature would be able to reset the balance. In regards to what you said, Dr. Wright, there is very thin line between science and magic. It could be argued anything we don't understand is magical in appearance until we have time to study it and determine what it is. Some might even argue that magic is just a word to describe that which we don't understand.
You could argue it, but you'd be wrong.
Everyone's going to look at Ray at this point.
Ah, yes. Ray, are you a man of science? Do you have a scientific background? Please enlighten us on the scientific
Oh,
ideas.
God, no. I got one quack scientist, one quack alchemist, and now I've got you two to feed this guy's ego.
I would say that I'm more of a doctor than a scientist, but actually, I guess I do science as well. Good point. Thank you. Good eye.
Master Ray, can I ask you, and this is Baying speaking with you, are you then saying that you believe in magic?
No, I'm saying the exact opposites. Good.
You don't believe in magic.
God, no. Everything that's happened so far has been explained to some degree. I mean, animates are rising up, but goodness gracious, there's got to be some logical explanation for it all. I mean, there certainly ain't no magical fancy rock that can... Oh, goodness gracious. You know what? I'm just going to go grab another drink outside.
And you get up from the table and leave as
Yeah.
well? Okay.
If you would, bring me back a drink as well. Thank you, my good boy.
Right.
Raya
Raya's
shakes her
getting
head and indicates to you not to bring the doctor another drink.
And Ayden, I will have to have you help me procure some more of that wonderful gift you gave me before I leave. Oh, wonderful. Nothing like it I've seen back at home.
That can certainly be done for you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So Cal will look at you and say, Dr. Wright, can I ask you then, what would you be able to do with the Philosopher's Stone? What is your theory?
Oh, my theory. Well, Cal, my boy, there's so much that we could do with the Philosopher's Stone if we, borrowing what Dr. Wolf says, we could, you could create, I suppose that we can already create life, but perhaps we could perfect it. Creating life is so difficult, so many fiddly bits, so many things that could go wrong, they come out deformed, or, I'm sure you've heard of homunculi and Promethean science and
Absolutely.
all manners of creation, but to create the true copy of a person, it would be magnificent. And what you could do, who you could bring back. Imagine being able to bring back your loved ones.
I'm gonna pointedly pour some more alcohol and set it in front of the doctor. And then I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder.
And for those of you that are watching Cal, who's watching him, at the point when he starts going down the road of bringing people back, Cal gets a very strange look. You're not really able to read what it is. It's there is something else there.
Do you mind if I do a...
No. You won't. You
insight?
won't be able to figure out what it is. You're just aware that there is definitely something different with that.
Yeah, and at that, oh, Frankie, excellent, thank you, my boy, and I'll just start drinking that.
Billings will then ask, so, where are you thinking this may be kept? Do you believe this is something that we may find while we're here? Grayling has set forth a number of travels that we shall be upon. Do you think the Philosopher's Stone, which, as far as I've known, is much more connected to Greek and Roman mythology than Egyptian, although it has come up a few times, do you think it's potentially here? As an antiquarian, I'm certain that you're offered for it many times over.
I have been, and I have considered it a personal hobby of mine to study. I have not found anything currently, though, that would lead me to believe it would be here. However, one correction, Mr. Billings, is the legend of the Philosopher's Stone is actually throughout human history. The Celts,
Maying will smile when you say that, but not say anything.
the Celts believed in sacred chalice or
Isn't that explained away as the Grail?
Well, that's
isn't that
what it
was pulled
became
in?
later.
Very good.
The Chinese believed that Mercury was the final step before the creation of a Philosopher's Stone.
Maying will beam and lean back in her chair.
Of course, legends exist in Russia, India, and in my studies I have found it is quite oddly a universal topic, the idea of immortality.
Well, no one wants to die.
Exactly.
No, but this is far beyond not dying. This animates never die until they are taken of the earth, but this is ever living.
I disagree that animates are living still.
I would also
I mean,
disagree.
I apologize. I mean, not dead. Not. Yes, I see what you're saying. Yes, I withdraw the statement.
Perhaps sometimes the dead should just stay dead.
I couldn't agree with you more, Raya.
However, my thinking is that since everything seems to be a state of constant decay, perhaps there's something that could offset it or reestablish the balance. Egyptian mythology is quite filled with the concept of balance. It's believed that humans have two souls, a darker half, a lighter half, that one represents the higher virtues, the other the lower virtues. Perhaps somewhere, somehow, this balance was upset and has led to this current situation. And my belief is that anyone who could possibly find the solution would be quite wealthy and quite influential. They could do a lot.
And so then you're saying if we were to find it, this would be your choice to sell it, to hold it? And I must ask, of all of you, of course, is the Philosopher's Stone a stone? Is it dust? I'm uncertain how it could be used to change so many different things if it was simply a round rock.
Well, that is certainly the question. Perhaps the idea of a stone is a metaphor, or the cup, or the cauldron, or the, Mercury. Perhaps these are all just allusions to the true truth. I find that we as humans have a certain arrogance in where we believe that we understand everything, and yet behind the scenes there is obviously a deeper truth, a deeper meaning. For example, take thropes. They are...
Is Wolf actually smiling?
Yeah, because Wolf is smiling.
Is Frankie smiling?
Frankie is scowling, and he kind of sinks into his chair. His decent mood has now dropped to bad mood.
Yeah.
Science has taught us to some extent that we are products of billions of years of change, of conflict, shaping us towards a certain perspective, and yet
This was at least Darwin's thesis.
Yes, and we now all of a sudden have these creatures that seem superlative to man in every sense.
I don't know about that.
No, I don't
health,
think so either.
Strength,
Longevity, yes.
and strength. And my question is, where did this come from? It couldn't have just merely spawned. It had to exist somewhere where we just were not aware of it until a fortunate set of coincidences, or perhaps the discovery of someone looking at something else found that which is the thrope.
Well,
Perhaps-
Dr. Wolf, I know that is your speciality, that not only the alchemy, but the study of thropes. Do you believe it has something to do with the Philosopher's Stone? Or possibly an imbalance?
There is a very big theory that goes on with my line of work that the true elixir that created the thropes is one of the many steps towards the elixir vitae, which is just another name of the Philosopher's Stone. And given the fact that it is an adaptive change in which one becomes a more physical dominant specimen, though the intellect it suffers, the longevity is there. Those that are turned thrope can live, as far as we know, forever.
Marud comes back, sits down, leans towards Cal, says something very quietly in Cal's ear, and then he intently looks at you.
Thropes can still die, just like everything else.
Yes, but imagine if we could perfect that serum, or the Philosopher's Stone. Perhaps we could use it to to perfect it. And maybe that's the next step of how we defeat the animates themselves. Or, I mean, it'd be nice if we could find a cure, but at this point, we may. We've been trying for so long. Who knows if we'll be able to? But if we were able to have eternal youth and be able to stay alive and recreate one another, perhaps we could bring back scientists of old and help. Imagine what we could do if we had Tesla back.
You would be talking on a level of going from one imbalance to another. If humanity stops aging, dying, what happens to population growth at that point?
I say the population was already curved by this animate problem. We won't have to worry about that for years upon years. And by that time, our science would be great enough. We'd be able to conquer whatever we need to.
I'm quite certain that the Earth as it is could absolutely, if we remove the animate problem, the blight problem, could absolutely sustain a population hundreds of times the level it is now, maybe thousands. I don't think there's any end to the bounty the Earth could have. We go back to a Garden of Eden, right?
But what then? Eventually, the population would reach critical mass.
And then, what I posit is we would have another animate surge of some kind. Perhaps not the animates, but something would quell. The Earth itself would correct itself, and we won't have to worry about that for some time. Perhaps we will be able to figure out how to stop it then.
Billings looks at you, Cal looks at you, and Mei Ying looks at you, and just watches you. But you can definitely feel eyes on you with that.
Wolf sort of just shakes his head at that one. He doesn't say anything more, but it's just in his head, it's the idea of the fact that the problem is stagnation. We lived for all this time. There's no new ideas. There's no new concepts. There's no new adaptations to human form. By the time something comes up.
But you don't believe if the philosophers of old, say Plato's or Socrates, if they, of course, hadn't taken their own lives or died of syphilis, if they were to have moved forward and lived longer, could you imagine the things they could have come up with? The philosophies, the theories.
Precisely.
Da Vinci.
Precisely. But then again, this is all just conjugation or whatever, conjecture. I don't know. Perhaps, is there any more drink, Ayden? I'm famished. And perhaps some, never mind. Perhaps some more drink would be perfect for me.
Certainly. And I'll motion to one of the server we have there to bring him over some stuff.
Okay.
And I think, if I may, take this to my room. I'm a bit tired at this point, my boys and ladies. I forget who else is here besides Raya.
Mei Ying is female.
Mei Ying is here. That's
Raya
right.
is female. But yes, there are women here.
Yes, I don't forget that. I'm gonna head. I will retire for the evening. I have that lovely gift that you have. So if anybody needs me, that's where I'll be.
Now, are you taking a plate of food back
Oh
to the
yeah,
room? Is
as
that
I'm
what you're
saying
doing?
this, I'm putting a little bit more food on there, and I'm getting my drink. They set down the bottle. I'll take the bottle and say I thank you and again if you need any extra money from this, we've eaten plenty. Talk to Grayling and I'll go.
So Ray has left the table, and as far as I know, has not returned. Wright has now left the table. Has anyone else?
No.
No,
Okay.
not at this time.
So Billings will stand up. He says, well, on an occasion like this, I should like to propose a toast, not with alcohol, with these. And he pulls from inside his jacket, he lays out a small humidor, opens it up, and you guys will see a collection of cigars. He says, very few left in the world made like this. I was able to procure a few from our Prussian friends, the ones that I am cutting the deal with. Please, and ladies, of course, if you wish. And Mei Ying doesn't even bat an eye. She reaches over, grabs one. You guys will all notice that he watches her take it, but says nothing. But you're not sure that he is excited about her grabbing one. But he takes his, snips the back end off, and passes the cutter around to each of you.
This is a rare treat, Mr. Billings. Thank you.
Thank you for your generosity.
Absolutely.
Thank
Frankie?
you.
Raya?
Yeah, thank you.
Maru does not, but Cal does. If your man Ray shows up again, we'll leave these out here. And then with that, is there anything more that you guys want to discuss this evening?
Well,
I mean, the talk can continue, but I'm saying as far as importance.
Right. Well, the last thing Ayden brings up is, to your point, Dr. Wolf, perhaps if we were to attain the condition of immortality, perhaps we would become something more than human, say godlike, or a higher level. Perhaps it would just be the next evolutionary step. Granted, sped up a bit through the process, but we would become something more, maybe not the base and jaded creatures.
Is it possible, Maying says, that you could become something less? Dr. Wolf, my understanding is the Thropes, at least initially, the first group, from what has been released about, my understanding is the Thropes are fully immortal.
They are indeed.
So something less, possibly.
There's this old phrase we say here in Egypt, but the gist of it is that the path of wisdom is...
It doesn't translate well, I guess.
Well, the path of wisdom is fraught with danger on both sides of the path.
A very wise thought.
It was a hard word to...
I understand. Maybe it would be better in the Egyptian.
Perhaps.
So, anyone else? I'm all for playing here, but we can also bring the evening to a close. I'm certain that you guys stay at least another hour, possibly longer out here.
Yeah.
You will. Anyone that's looking out towards the temples will see a light starting to head down there from one of the buildings. That light comes to the edge of the water. You guys will see it stay there for a bit, and then eventually it will appear, as far as you guys can tell, it's dark. It will appear to cross the water, or at least the area that you know the water is, and that light will continue on quite a ways into the temples area. The light goes out. You're not sure if it was snuffed out or not. 25 minutes later, for those who are left, the light will come back out undiminished, looks almost nearly identical, and will again cross the water area, and then walk back into the tenements, or move, and you don't see it walking. At this point, it is so dark, you're literally just seeing that light move.
One thing I was thinking about is, I don't know that we ever hammered out how Frankie's going to get this serum while he's in Egypt. Is that something that Dr. Wolf can manufacture? Do we need to attain supplies for that?
For the suppression, my understanding is yes, Wolf can do it as long as he can get the supplies.
Yep.
And again, also my understanding is they're not necessarily exceptional.
Not really. No.
Yeah, and I don't remember, did I come to you for those, or did you give me a supply?
Well, Wright did the introduction, and I gave you a supply, so...
Okay.
So I'm the one who knows how to make it. Technically, Wright could make it if he had the ingredients and the right stuff, but...
Well, the know-how and the ingredients combined, which you have.
Yeah.
And I thought, and again, I apologize because it has been so long since we last played previously. I thought you had a small supply. Do you remember how long the suppression lasts for?
It lasts for 24 hours.
Yeah, it's a daily thing.
All right, so it is a daily dose.
And, okay, looks like I had 4 bottles is what I've written down.
4 bottles. Oh, God.
Do we have a guess how long?
I don't know how
a
many.
Dose?
Do we want
to arbitrarily
It's a pill?
set it?
I thought it was a liquid.
Nope, it's a pill.
Then this isn't about that.
Nope.
Oh, this is my slap.
Yep. No, I personally have 35. I personally
Ayden, do you want to try the cuisine of our people?
Yeah, I got scop and slap.
I'm
Did you
assuming
not write it down?
That's in the.
I did not.
We have Scott too.
I know Wolf has like 35 that he has of his own personal stash, but
We like to turn it into kind of a jerky.
35. You have 35 doses or 35 bottles.
35 doses.
Doses,
Bottles.
okay.
They're pills. They're each an
And they're
individual
one
pill.
per day. Now, the rest of the group wouldn't know this. The players do, though. Do you take the dose every day yourself?
Yes.
Okay. And so...
And this 35 is based on when I got to Cairo at this point. So
okay, so knowing now that you are going to need to feed Frankie with it as well, it's something where you may want to.
Well, I did make some for Frankie before we got on the trip. I just don't.
We didn't write it down.
Let's just make it an even month. 30 doses.
Yeah, so 30 doses for you as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Easy.
There we go. So, might as well just say, by the time we got to Cairo, we had at least a month's supply before I have to start making more.
So does Frankie carry those on his person?
No, he hates them, so he hides them in the bottom of his knapsack.
Okay.
He hates and loves the suppression just as much as the suppression hates and loves him.
All right. Anything else? I mean, you guys can break up into smaller groups if you need to, but anything else? Ray, do you go to bed?
Yeah, I come back into the room. I kind of see the cigars, but not really my taste. So
Arthur will give you kind of the hand towards the cigar, but if you shake your head, he'll nod and he'll roll them back up and put them away, or set them back in the humidor and put them away.
But I don't know. Tonight has definitely gone over Ray's head a lot. He's gone on artifact expeditions with this guy before. Now we're dipping into magic. All right.
Well, so
I'm being paid.
You've been here long enough. It is your choice as to what level you want to take it. Egypt definitely is steeped in magic historically.
Right. When
And so everyone talks about magic. Not every single person on the street, but as in general, when you're, oh look, it's magic.
You talking about magic today? I haven't talked about magic yet today. Let me tell you about magic.
So it is common, and do you speak Egyptian?
yes.
You do. So you have the ability to converse with people. So again, when you listen, you hear it. It's not non-existent. It would be a topic here. I would normally tell you it'd be a topic like politics, but today I can't say that. It's not like that. But it's going to be, for our area, it'd be like a topic like marijuana. So it's out there. People do talk about it. Not everybody talks about it every day, but it's in the thoughts of everyone.
Okay, but are they talking about it like, yes, it exists, or are they talking about like we talk about like Bigfoot or
More Bigfoot.
Okay.
More Bigfoot, but
But they are selling. There are shops selling amulets of protection.
Yes,
and stuff,
that's
so.
what I'm saying. But there's a commonness to it, to where yes, it's Bigfoot, but think about Willow Creek and how many Bigfoot things there are there. It's definitely a commonplace. I'm not really sure how to connect it for you. I was using that as an example, but yeah, it is commonplace. There's not the tourist trade, so do be aware of this. There's not the tourist trade here. And that's actually something that's interesting. The two of you, Ray and Ayden, may not know that there has been no contact. Ray, Ty, did you figure out how Ray got here yet? I mean, you don't have to have, but did you figure out how he got here years ago?
If there's no problem with it, I kind of envision him. He did not cross the Mediterranean, but he essentially made his way around.
Oh my gosh! Now, any part of that, the desire to go to Jerusalem?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
so
actually
did you
one of the
make
things I was
a
thinking about.
religious pilgrimage then to Jerusalem?
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
Okay, and then once there, what made you come south around the Anatolia Plain as opposed to going back home, which was Ireland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Dublin.
Okay.
I don't know. He's wherever he's worked. He hasn't had exactly the most legitimate business.
Okay.
So he's always been kind of a hired thug. He's picked up trouble. So he's kind of learned to keep on the move. And so he's just kind of made his way around. And he's like, well, if I go back, I have to deal with this person.
Is there?
I have not had that problem here yet.
Okay.
I've been able to keep my. This is my first time I've actually had a business that's semi-legitimate.
Sure.
I've been working for him for a while.
You're still doing Fight Club or whatever we want to call it
Yeah,
in town periodically.
Fight Club has been a little odd here because almost 90% of the fights are fixed.
Okay, interesting.
So because that's kind of what I've done too in a lot of places. I've always gone to Fight Club, but here all the fights appear to be fixed in some way. So I really don't like being the guy that gets beat up the first round to hype everyone up. So I've had to try other lines of business as well.
Okay.
Although I do jump into the occasional fight, but.
So as far as your background, the things that you took within your character, did you take any of the qualities or the other side that have you hunted or owing a debt or anything like that? What I'm asking is there any reason why you can't, other than the all the awful reasons that are there. Is there any reason you can't return to Dublin, or are nervous or thinking about not returning? For
I
a
did
reason?
not take things like debt or wanted because I don't envision that I am wanted by particularly large groups.
Okay, so just a day-to-day thing, dealing with people. It's not something very large.
Like this occasional small time loan shark, that kind of thing.
Okay. So as we start breaking up from the meal, I know, Ayden, you're going back to your place. Do you have any of them staying in your building?
No.
Okay. So they are all staying here. So there's been an attempt to make sure that you guys each have a space. Arthur and Mei Ying, of course, have a connected area. Marud and Cal will, when I say bed down together, in the same area. For the rest of you, did anyone double up? I know Wright did not,
No, I don't think.
and I know
anybody did.
Ray
No.
did not. Frankie and Raya or Wolf.
We were all described as having our own spaces.
Yeah,
All
everybody
right.
had their
So
own.
again, I'll remind you, they're not per se rooms. They are put aside with hanging silks and the like. Most of this group has been with this group for a while, so I'm not looking at the familiarity like walking in on each other naked. What I'm looking at is the comfortable belief that no one's going to walk in on you for any reason without some warning. I mean, that's this group.
I think everyone's well
Yeah.
aware that most of us have night terrors. So
I can't sleep anymore without hearing his
Right.
We just have a nice little back and forth.
So you make sure that Wright is now. Wright does have his own room.
That's
I
what
believe.
it
I
sounds
believe
like.
you are the only one who has his room that's a separate. No, I'm sorry. You have your own room, and Marud and Cal have their own room. Small, nothing large or anything, but meaning walls and a door.
I think that's for the benefit of everybody, because there's nothing on right now. I get back into that water, and yeah, it's...
Good news!
Yeah.
I couldn't find the bathtub. The bath towel.
Oh God, I'm scarred for life.
bad news, everyone.
Just wait. All right. So the next morning rolls around, and it's been long enough. I'm going to have to ask those who have them. Do you need to roll night terrors? Does it have an effect, an in-game effect? I know it does.
Night
in the
terrors isn't
Pinnacle games.
necessarily a roll. It's just
Okay, just an
Saying it.
effect.
It's happening.
And
Yeah.
like, I guess, if we're trying to be quiet, that's when that might be...
yeah, and
something.
I'm sure most
I
people.
don't think you can roll out of it though. I think it's an inherent quality.
Yeah, it's just a thing. People
Okay.
don't really tend to remember. The people who are suffering the night terrors don't tend to remember
Yeah.
what happens and stuff like that.
Oh,
Gotcha.
such a good sleep.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say you're.
No,
very,
you're
very
going to be
well rested.
exhausted in
No,
most cases.
good sleep. That's what the hashish is for. Ooh, do I have... Maybe they're a little less worsted.
Now, are you carrying any of your customary powders, your meth?
Oh, I have a lot of it, yeah.
You have a lot of
I have 30 pills of that. I have enough to go around for a little while.
All right.
Right, tonight I'm a little bit more distracted with this, but I am contemplating. I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I mix these two. Perhaps if I sprinkle some of this.
It's going to be that gif of the skeleton just in the chair, kind of like just like zooming, like unable to move and yet so hyper.
Does anybody
I
else
actually
hear
was-
yellow right now?
I was
hear
going
yellow.
to go to sleep right away. I was going to go up to the roof and keep watch for a little while.
Well, if I remember correctly, you guys ate on the roof, so you'll return to the roof.
Yeah.
When you return, the tables and the chairs are still set there. There's none of the food left there. All right, so on the roof.
I was just going to make sure there were no threats, no animals, anything like that coming towards us while everyone's asleep.
Well,
And
it's
kind of keep an eye on where the necropolis.
well, this is a
was
new
in that
moon,
area.
and so there is almost no light of any sort. I'll tell you that when you cross that, but there's another piece to that. But there's basically no light anywhere. You do not see towards the temples. You see no little dots like you were clearly able to see moving there. You have to believe, if the Egyptians take it as seriously as you do as mourners, that the whalers don't leave their post. It's a little different because you guys aren't generally set as permanent guard duty. You're set on guard duty in the sense that when there's time, when there's the need for you, you sit and watch. This is a little bit different. If you do take the circuit of the entire roof, though, from where you are at, you will see, and again, for most of you, this is going to seem backwards. Generally, the rivers that you guys are used to flow south, and generally the rivers that you are used to flow west, although some do flow east. In your case, the river, the River Nile, flows north from where you guys are at. So in the same direction as the river, you will see some light. You're guessing at this point from gas or from torches or candles. You will see some light in and around the area of the town north of you, which you guys did not go through. East of you, you can just see a very strong light in the direction of the Citadel. You're guessing it actually could be there. That is something different. That is not torchlight. Whatever that is, it is very well lit up. Although at this distance, it would be blinding were you maybe a mile or two closer. And then just bits and pieces here and there throughout. Not a lot of movement. Almost no movement in the street below you. If you watch for a while, maybe one or two people and an animal. Again, you're not seeing it, but you're confident possibly a dog or a cat or possibly a bird, but nothing that makes you uncomfortable.
Raya, do you stay up there all night?
No, probably maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, then I'll go to bed.
Very good. Anyone else for the evening? Night?
Nope.
Well, this is actually where one of my qualities goes against me. If I got a bunch of people with night terrors, I've got light sleeper. So,
Show pants. How many people have night terrors?
So that's 3.
Beautiful cacophony of screams.
Yeah.
Of different subject matters and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Marood has it as well.
Oh no.
So my question then, Ray, would be: you've known the doctor for a while. After the first maybe 2 hours where you've been bumped out of sleep, which would put you around 1 o'clock, do you go next door? Now you know the doctor lives next door. And you know that there is, if you're just bedding down somewhere with a blanket and a pillow, you know there is space because you've been in his. I'm assuming he's been up to your residence. Yeah.
Yep.
So you've been in his place and up to his residence. Would you suffer through the night, or would you go over there during the night?
now, here's the question. How freezing are the nights here?
They are cold. They are at this. Oh, actually, it's a good question. Wait, give me 1 sec. What time is it?
I should mention
I
Wolf's
feel
probably
like
gonna
it
be
was
up pretty
winter.
late too, but I'll get to that when I get around there. It's gonna be this beautiful
That's
once
got
one night terror and
really,
the
really
next
cold.
set.
It gets but the
Perpetual
question was
nightmare.
freezing, and I'm trying to remember when you guys left.
Frozen soul in the streets of Egypt.
It's just freaking Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Just
It snows every night, but it melts before anybody wakes up in the morning. It's a crazy phenomenon.
Actually, I will have to
It's
do a
better
little
than
more
not getting
research,
sleep.
but from my quick look through the notes, you're somewhere in February. Yeah, it gets freaking cold.
All right, so
25 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, yeah. So it gets
all right,
freaking
well, that's
cold.
not an option.
Right, you're not going to sleep outside.
yeah.
Well,
Just when you think the night terrors are ended, the next set of night terrors begin. It just becomes this perpetual cycle. It's amazing anyone gets any sleep.
so I'm at options. I do get up, and I'll probably wander out on the porch or whatever the heck it is,
Right.
and I'll enjoy the night air for a little bit, and then realize it's freaking cold.
Yep. Yep.
And then I'm pretty much out of options. I'm just gonna have to get hammered.
All right.
Oh, shucks.
Oh no! Guess I better start drinking again.
Guess I gotta get plastered.
Right. Your alcohol senses are tingling.
In the middle of this night, Tara's just like, "No, it's all my fault. Did someone say they're getting hammered? I must."
My
All of a
substance
sudden, he
abuse.
just walks along the roof down into his room. Like,
My substance abuse senses were tingling. What's going on there, Ray?
All right. So
No, this is my stash. You stay away.
And then I crawl away on the roof.
These night terrors are getting extreme.
So Ty, for the next morning, as the sun breaks, does anyone specifically
Every
get
light is
up early?
agonizingly bright.
Wolf was up pretty late because he was busy doing examining the skin under like microscopes and stuff like that, and two, doing more work on his decryption of the Russian throat project folders that he had.
Now, when you're saying decryption, I don't remember. Do you speak Russian?
I do not.
All right,
this
so
has
you're
been
kind of
basi-
looking at charts and all right,
yeah.
very good.
ooh, I might prove useful.
So I'll ask again. Does anyone specifically get up early? Say 6, 7.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Frankie's
probably about.
And you're the building next door, so that
Right.
doesn't affect anyone.
get
Would you come over to pester them?
No, but like I imagine he kind of does like the greeting the dawn sort of 8-ton kind of dealy, like
Okay, so you're a sun worshiper.
yeah, I would say like
Oh, all right.
Probably-
Specifically that religion, or is it a fancy?
it's totally like oh, that sounds neat. I'll do this like Hollywood Kabbalah. Nothing like
Right. Okay. All right. So
Good,
something that you created yourself, and as you listen to other people and what they've
Right.
done. Very good. All right.
And at this point, it's habit. So
Right.
And so Raya gets up around.
About 7.
Okay. All right. So not much sleep for you, but all right. And again, because of the floor that you guys are on, and you're connected through, I mean, you can move through quietly. It's not like you're tripping and falling over everyone.
Moving quietly is kind of my jam.
Do you stay here? Do you go upstairs to the roof? Do
I'll
you
go
down?
up to the roof again.
All right. So the roof upstairs, as the light is coming over, it is very light, but you do not have sun yet. But it is very light. You can see everywhere. You can see, now in question from the previous night, you definitely see whalers down there. They seem to be huddled up, sitting as you saw them previously, although they look like they're maybe covered in 1 or 2 more coverings of some sort. Black is still the operative color. Do you do anything up there other than, watching, stretching, getting your mind set?
I'll probably watch for a little while. I'll probably do some of my exercises
Sure.
just to keep limber and keep practiced.
Okay.
For when I actually have to use my skills.
On the roof next door, which is Ayden's place, you will see Ayden going through a number of, they look like ritual steps. I mean, he doesn't have his food in front of him or anything else. He's taking steps, bowing down, changing the position of the bow. It could be some form of calisthenics, although it's very mild if it is, or it could be some kind of prayer. You're watching. You don't have to interrupt him. I'm just saying that you are aware of it.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna not interrupt him. If he's doing a religious practice, I don't want to interrupt that. So.
Very good. For the rest of you, 8, 9 o'clock, when the light is starting to actually
it's
permeate
about 8
everything.
o'clock. for
Yeah.
Wolf.
Frankie usually gets up early between 5 and 6, and then he usually goes to find some kind of chore to do. So he'll clean out a stove or something.
Okay, so you're saying you're getting up early here as well, even though going to bed late? Oh,
Yeah.
all right. So in that case, then potentially you'll bring yourself downstairs. Downstairs there, if you want to scrub on something or grind on something,
Yeah.
there is a heating stove for the downstairs. So I'm certain there's no reason that you need to be particularly loud, but all right.
Wolf wakes up and he gives a cough because he purposely did not drink water during the night. And he's mainly because he's trying to take notes on the effects of what happens when
Oh,
one does
dear
it.
God. Okay.
And also, for his purposes, once he does start drinking water again, how long it takes for him to heal up.
Gotcha. Well, for anyone that stayed inside during the night, you're not having any effects.
Okay, so he stayed inside, so it's not,
Right.
that's not the issue.
So that's why I was checking to see what most of you are doing. So as the sun is, as the light is coming around 9 o'clock ish, when all of you are starting to actually get moving and come out, Marud and Cal will be out at this point. Billings and Maying are out. At what point, Ayden, do you come over to the next door?
Probably when one of the servers come over and says it seems like everyone's up and moving around.
So did you envision having a servant that would stay in the house?
Yeah, probably. Just
Okay,
to
so
help
he
with
would
it.
slept. So he would come over around 8:30 and let you know that more than half appear to be moving.
All right, and then I will get dressed in less of the formal English attire and more of the Egyptian attire, just
Very good.
because make it look like there was someone, because I know that'll be generally safer.
Okay.
And then I'll head over there, and I'm going to see how he's doing, because there's a reason I stayed over by a place, I figured.
Right. Well, so when you come in, Ray's going to be downstairs, or did you try going back?
I was
upstairs?
up right around 6 o'clock too.
All right.
I'm rubbing my head. I've got a headache, but I am some version of alert.
Did you stay in the? I'm going to call it cubicle for lack of a better explanation. Did you stay in your cubicle, or did you leave it when you got up? So most of you did not sleep in, is what I'm getting.
I got up and probably went down to. Well, actually, I probably went to the wherever our normal meeting area is. I guess where food was.
For the group, that would be up on the roof, is where you ate last time. You have but you've
Yeah.
never eaten up there before. That was a feast. You've never been in this building before.
That's
Remember,
true,
this is
I
the neighbors.
suppose.
Do you mean
Normal-
like
Yeah,
where-
I'd probably go to the roof and see what's going on.
Okay.
If anyone else
So-
is moving around.
So breakfast is like a strong kind of coffee, like
Yeah, I
drink,
wouldn't think breakfast is going to be much.
and then it's just going to be like a kind of a bread.
That's
type
what I would
thing.
think. Yep.
And then when I head up there, I'm going to hand him the cure for the hangover type of thing. the fermented goat's milk, just like or whatever tradition local.
So do
hangover
you,
cure.
as you come through the second level to go to the roof, do you mention to just kind of generically out? I've got the breakfast repast. Do you guys
Yeah, I would-
something like that? All
I
right.
would say-
So you guys are all made aware. Does anybody specifically not go up?
Oh no, when
All
breakfast
right.
is ordered
So
up.
so in different conditions, most everyone comes up. Will eat. If you don't drink coffee, is there something else?
Yeah, there's tea.
All right, so there's tea and coffee for those of you who drink. While you guys are up there, I mean, I'm not too worried about what you're talking about. Over the roughly half hour or so that you guys are all getting up there and getting settled, the sun starts to break the sun's broke for a while. It's starting to rise, and anyone that's there without a rebreather is starting to get that scratchy throat and that weird kind of wind that's with you guys all the time was not there last night. Has started.
I have a question. So Ayden's rebreather was not like a full mask, right?
No, it was a full mask, but
It was-
it's made out of canvas rather than
Okay.
leather or
So
Rubber.
I would
Rubber.
be asking, because we have this full-on
Yep.
mask here. I would, be asking, Ayden, we're gonna procure one of your this thing is, if we're gonna be here for some time, this is gonna be unseemly and unwieldy.
And is everybody is anyone not in their gas masks?
I have
Wolf
a.
Wolf isn't in his gas mask because he's quickly discovered the rubber's not going to last well in the heat. He's got a cloth at the very least across.
And
his
you'll
face
notice
right now.
Marud also has what appears to just be a cloth, and Raya.
Yeah, I have like a scarf wrapped
Okay.
around my face.
So Raya, it won't be too long. Possibly it'll be by the end of the meal that you're having that scratchy throat thing again.
Okay, I'll try and drink some water and.
No water, but the tea does not seem to clear it. The coffee's not going to clear it,
Yeah.
but the tea also doesn't seem to clear it.
Okay.
So unless you have another idea, your thinking is maybe I should go put it on.
Yeah.
I was when you were done and had your you broke your fast. I was going to take you to the market, and that would be one of the things.
Wonderful.
I do have a question, Ayden. You've mentioned obviously I've been feeling the effects of it, even with the cloth mask on. what has happened to those that just have not gotten water? Do they just lose their voice permanently, or?
So I'll get kind of this little raised eyebrow, kind of like devilish looking glee in the eye.
Oh no!
So he's gonna tell you that nobody goes for any length of time. He's not aware of anyone who would choose not to wear it. But one of the punishments that is dealt out here is to be left outside for a full 24 hours. That's usually the end of any problems for any person. You deal with the heat during the day, the cold during the night, and the oppression upon your chest, lungs, throat. What he can tell you is that there is permanent scarring in almost everybody he's ever heard of do this. You yourself, of course, Ayden, have never been caught that way.
Right.
But it is a punishment.
And then I am going to tell you that there are tales of people who have gotten lost and lost their mask and have been found almost like every bit of water was stolen from them, almost like a animated husk.
Mummification.
Yeah.
I got a question. Are we still tan?
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
Okay.
the two of you have not suddenly whitened up during the night. And when we're talking about tanned, if your standard skin tone is like Irish white, you're maybe French to very northern Mediterranean color.
Frankie's Italian, so I don't.
Italian. So you've darkened a bit. You look like somebody with a sun tan.
Okay.
So does Wolf.
Yep.
All right.
So if there's nothing else you guys want to do, and I'm going to keep moving it forward. Stop me if you guys ever need to. Your next step is then to go to the market. Are you walking, which is a good
walking.
walk? Okay.
So, and then I'll give them a little tour on the way, like,
Okay.
here's some things.
So as you guys now, so everybody is wearing gas masks.
Yes,
Yes.
I would have gotten my gas mask, but I plan to
Don't know that
purchase
you're a
a
throw.
mask like yours
You do.
at the market.
Yeah.
So yes, everyone's wearing theirs.
Yeah.
Marood, are you wearing yours, Wolf?
Like I said, the rubber masks. No.
Yeah.
Because,
No. All right. So you're keeping up the covering.
Yep.
And Marood also has kept the covering, but everyone else with you. Mei Ying's is. This is the first time you've seen this one. This is new for her. Very ornate. You're not really sure what is coming out of it, but there's definitely a look to it. There is a shape like she's pulling off. In fact, all of you guys give me an intellect roll.
that
We're looking for a
is
14. Anyone 14
Nope,
or
nope.
up?
15.
I'm not even
Wolf.
paying attention.
20.
20? 20 and 14.
15 for me.
Or 15. Dr. Wolf and Ayden, the two of you will believe that what you're seeing is potentially, it's again very ornate and not blatant, but you're feeling like you're seeing the lower face of a cat. Okay? And again, it takes work. It's not obvious to anyone else. That's how unobvious I'm trying to make sure that you understand it is. But the two of you guys know that ornateness seems to be purposeful.
Gotcha. So if you look at it just the right angle, it looks like a cat.
Right,
But if
right.
you're not looking at it right, it's just whatever pattern.
So as you head out of your place and the group will move with you, this is a large group. This is not uncommon to be seen here, but it's usually with an entourage. For Raya, Mei Ying is dressed traditional. Black covering her head. In addition to the gas mask, a see-through veil across her mouth, although her lower face is covered. And then she's wearing, and I apologize, I didn't look into, been a bad day. I did not look into the name, but the black dress that is normally worn. She is wearing one of those. How are you dressed?
I'm dressed in my Mourner dress.
Okay.
I'm not wearing my veil.
But you
but
are
I am wearing the gas
gas mask. Very good. So you are effectively covered.
Yes.
All right. For the rest of you, none of the gentlemen look out of line. Marood is in something a little more tribal than you're used to seeing, but it's not like a loincloth or tiger skins or something like that. For the rest of you, standard dress that we've seen you in, or something different?
Yeah, so the doctor's in his suit, but as soon as we get to market, he's going to be... Actually, on the way, I'll be speaking to Ayden, asking, what's the most comfortable garb to be in? I'm pretty much just going to buy whatever I need to be the most comfortable here.
Sure.
And I'm going to be leaving my leather pants and shirt at home or at the place with all my stuff, and I still am gonna wear my chainmail gauntlets though.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frankie's ditched the duster. He's just wearing basically trousers, suspenders, and then his lightest shirt that he owns.
Very good. Everyone else pretty straightforward from
Very
what we're used to
straightforward.
seeing you in?
Yep.
I mean,
All right. So Ray and Ayden, you'd be the only two that would be potentially different. Do either of you have something that would not be what I would qualify as English normal? You know, some kind of pants, some kind of a shirt, belt, trousers. Okay, you guys are all wearing that type of thing.
I'm dressed in the way of the desert to keep cool and stuff.
Okay, so
I have
you also are wearing the kind of
the head wrap.
sheet.
And
Yep. Okay. Very good.
the-
I mean, I'm pretty much just wearing the. I want to call them genie pants, but that's not what they're actually called.
But I
and
get
then
the idea of something airy,
just
light to move.
a vest, basically. That's it.
Okay.
Parachute pants. They're called.
There you go.
All right.
Hammer time. All right. So my question for you is: you're saying a vest. Are you shirtless under the vest?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys will notice this is the first time you're seeing him. You know, with what Amazon and Netflix call nudity. Dear God. But you guys are seeing skin. He is well tanned and not farmer's tan. And when you're saying a vest, sleeveless vest, I'm assuming, he is well tanned all over, which matches his face as well. So as you guys are heading in, you're going to head north. The road appears to be for quite a ways two-story tenements or two-story buildings similar to what you've seen. The road itself is fairly clear. One time, during the time that you guys are taking the walk, one time you move aside for a vehicle, a car. As far as any of you can tell on just quick note, unless you want to look somewhere some other way, the car is spewing something, so you are guessing it is some form of a combustible engine as opposed to electric. Again, if I remember from last game, you guys are aware that there's some form of Tesla electricity. Mm-hmm. It does not. It seems to be spotty. I don't think we discussed it much, just to have that awareness.
Yeah, I think Wright was the one who discovered that because he was trying to turn on his lamp and it keeps flickering.
Flickering, right? Perfect. So you guys, as you're going up, you're on your left as you're walking north. Is that hillside down to the river, so Ayden will bring you closer to that so you can see it better, and you'll notice that the mourners on their seats are starting to remove some of the outer garments. I mean, we're not talking going wild, we're just saying instead of maybe 5 garments, they have 3 or 2 at this point. Mm-hmm. Though the river turns out to the northwest, and you guys will now start moving into a collection of smaller buildings. Most of these are one-story, but very large. And Ayden's going to tell you that these are the bazaars. This is not where you want to go. Not because there's anything dangerous per se, although he warns you that all of Cairo is dangerous. This is not where you can get the best deals. These are the buildings that are set up for use for people digging, for day-to-day surplus, that type of things. What you guys are looking at stuff, what he's bringing you to are the bazaars that will have handcrafted items.
While Ayden's playing the tour guide, I want to fall back to Dr. Wolf.
Okay.
And kind of, not pull on you, but kind of...
And pull him back as well so the
Yeah.
two of you drop back. Very good.
I am concerned that your experiments are taking over propriety. This feels like you're drawing more attention to our condition than you should be.
I'm confused. Why makes you believe that, Frankie?
Well, number one, the whole mask business. You're the only one not wearing a gas mask. And you're not that beat up over it. Someone's going to notice.
Frankie, everyone here who doesn't have a mask is wearing cloths. Plus, you're going to regret it once you realize that your rubber is going to melt to your face.
The English are not. The natives, sure. But you're drawing attention to yourself.
What's the saying? When in Rome, do as the Romans do. We're in Egypt, Frankie.
Not when there's a condition as this within you.
Frankie, it sounds like you're the one who's drawing more attention to your condition than I am.
I just think you're not being careful enough. And it's more than just your head.
You guys will notice because you're still walking with them.
I feel like we're arguing too.
yes.
so
No,
we're not-
yes, but you guys will notice because you can't miss him. Marood has stopped and you are coming towards him. He has his head bowed As you get closer, I'm certain that you would tail off, and he
I don't
will-
know. I'm arguing pretty.
All right, so
Yeah.
then at the
I
point
could
when
see
you
us.
look up out of nowhere, Maroon says, "My friends, is everything okay?"
I like Marud, so I'm gonna, kind of shake off my anger and say, "Yes, of course, friend.
Very good.
We're fine."
Very good. If you need anything, I am at your service. And he
We would
moves.
definitely
He quickly
appreciate
moves away from you and back into the group.
I'm gonna storm off. I'm
Yep.
done talking to you now.
Yep.
So do you storm forward?
Yes.
Very good. Okay.
I'll catch up to Marud and start talking
So
about.
I will tell you
Oh,
this, Sequoia. If the character pool there was not full, I would have been adding to it. I love it. That's
Yeah,
wonderful. I like the way you're taking it. In fact, you know what I'm going to do for you because I really liked it. Take an experience point now in game,
Fabulous.
so I don't have to remember at the end. I really enjoy that way of thinking.
Awesome.
So you guys will move again through. I'm going to call them the warehouse district, but again, they're one-story buildings, and you do see many people. Many people is tens and 20s of people moving through. A good number. This is not like the hustle and bustle of some of the areas of the metropolis, but it's still a lot of people. But as you come towards the bazaar, you can hear the noise. The cacophony is building around it. Ayden's going to tell you what. What are you going to warn them?
Be careful with your purses. There are quick hands here. If you need help negotiating, of course, I am more than willing to do so. You will find all manner of curiosities here, but be careful. Not all is as it appears. There are also dangerous elements that may try to do you harm or perhaps kidnap you, thinking that you could be worth something.
I'm going to say the doctor left his valise back where he knew it was safe.
Very good.
And then the doctor. So as I look around at the people that are here, not like so when I think of London, it's pretty dangerous. Like you go outside, you usually want to have some weapon on you, and I usually always have
At night.
At night,
Maybe
yes.
not during the day unless you're going to some of the lesser quality areas.
Which the doctor may have or not. But now here,
Whitechapel.
Ayden has mentioned the be careful of your purse and all that. Are people wearing weapons on themselves? Are they heavily armed at all?
Is that something you're going to look for?
Yeah, I'm gonna
All right.
look around.
So, and would you, if he asked that question, would you respond to
I mean,
it?
I would ask like, how well should I be armed here?
So what?
So I was imagining that it'd probably be one of those where there's no weapons inside, but some people have like.
It's a
shields
little
or
different
things
than
like
that. There's nobody's carrying anything other than some type of a dagger or a dirk, a small weapon. Almost everyone, male, is wearing it. Even younger people are wearing it. But you will see the large curved swords, the scimitars, are worn by people with a very, very distinct dress, which he will tell you are effectively, you would know the term constable, but they are the guarding force of the police force here. And he said they will be more in sight and more in force as you guys enter the bazaar. And he says, don't look at them. They won't look at you unless there's a reason.
Excellent.
And you do see that from the distance as you're getting in. You will see that they literally walk through the bazaar from outside. You'll see what you can see. They are walking through the bazaar. People walk around them. Nobody reacts to them. They don't appear to be reacting to anyone.
Barry, am I the only armed female that I see?
Do you have your scalpus on the outside of your dress?
So like holsters on the
I
corset.
was going to say, I thought you
the
did.
The holsters are on the corsets.
Okay, so you do not see any other females with weapons, but you are not certain. No, you are certain. I'm sorry. I was going to say you're not certain how many of them are female, but you see nobody in your style of dress, is what I was trying to say. So you're abnormal twice. Your style of dress for a female is definitely different. What I was getting at is that there are people in their style of clothing that you're not positive are all females. There may be males dressed that way as well. But yes, you are the only one carrying weapons in that way.
Were there in London? Were there penny dreadfuls of like Egypt and like explorers?
Most of so that's a good question. The penny dreadfuls are still coming out that would cover a little bit of Egypt, but they appear to be, at least, if is that something that you follow? There's a reason I'm
When
asking.
I was younger, yes, I would have had my head in all kinds of books.
So when you were younger, what you would have realized is that some of them were drawing off the previous stories from maybe 30, 40 years before. Again, as far as London proper is concerned, Cairo, there's been no contact with Egypt in any form in 80 years.
What I'm going for is in my head. And player meme, I'm thinking like the Mummy. They're all
Yep.
wearing like belts of bullets and stuff. So I'm like, would the Doctor's reference for how I should be outside of the walls be based on adventure
Yes,
stories?
initially I'm certain
Yeah.
that you would expect that
Because-
it's like the Penny Dreadfuls.
Right now, he's thinking, okay, so I have my one holster for my gun, but I have another gun I need to get a holster for, and I think I need a bandolier for my bullets so that I don't have to dig in my valise.
Quickly, at least that
Yeah.
point, and your valise isn't here, you
Yeah.
already said that. Quickly, that point kind of runs from you. You do not see anyone with outward guns set about their person at all. Marood, Billings, Cal, none of them are wearing guns. No one that you see is wearing guns.
So I'm the only one.
Right. But again, you also, like Raya, you very much stand out as looking different. So again, most of you do.
I still want that bandolier, but okay.
All right. So as you guys come to the edge of the bazaar, Ayden will ask, what are we looking for first? He'll bring you through.
Oh, I'd probably just take him right to the mass.
Yeah.
Is that where we're going first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look at my old friend Abasi.
Okay. So as you start moving through, you know that he's a ways in, and generally his stall is set up in and then towards the river. He's an older man, but a very smart man, and he knows that at least some of that wind that blows off the heat and across the water comes there, keeps his area cool. So as you guys move across there, it's noise.
Brief
And-
pause before we get too far
Yes.
in. I'm gonna talk to Raya and say I'll cover the Doctor Wright if you want to cover the Doctor Wolf. And
Okay.
Okay.
I wonder
Oh, Frankie.
why.
So do any of you envision falling behind? Does anyone get so engrossed in something that you would, Egyptian Jacob's ladders?
Yeah.
do
Oh, is
you-
there Jacob's ladders? Because I'm gonna be at that stall.
if there were cool weapons, Frankie would definitely kind of grab the Doctor's arm and pull him over.
All right.
But
So you
he
guys
would follow the
but you
torture.
wouldn't get more than a few paces away, and would all of you be aware of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay. So it's going to take a little bit of time crossing, maybe about 20 minutes before you actually get to the space he's going to. There, you see your friend Habasi, and he says, Ayden, welcome.
It's good
What
to
can
see
I
you.
get for you today?
It's good to see you, friend, and do like the traditional hug type thing they do
Right.
in the face. These
He, by the way, is wearing a very nicely painted canvas mask, but he's wearing a mask very similar to the one that Ayden's wearing.
my friends here are from very far away, and they're
Truly, and where from? I love the stories.
We're from London. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Wright here. And say your name again.
Easy.
Abasi.
Abasi.
Abbasi, wonderful to meet you. I love the mask selection you have. As you can see, this is our traditional one from up in London. Very different. And so I'm here to procure one of these, but I'm jumping ahead. Ayden, please, you may continue.
Oh, that is it. We were hoping to get some masks that are better suited for the environment.
Is this where we would find garb as well? I wonder, get...
That would be another stall.
My brother, of course. He would be able to set you up with dress, much like, I believe your friend's name was Ray, yes? Much like Ray, I can set you up there through my brother. But for now, masks. Everyone?
Masks.
Okay.
Yes,
So he
indeed.
starts laying them out, and you'll see that he'll start to lay something out, and as he lays for each of you, he'll lay 2 or 3 items, looking at your faces, and we'll lay them down. Are you looking at, when he starts laying them down for each of you, they are single color canvas.
Oh, I'm going for the gaudy one. I
Right.
want a-
Okay.
I
That
want a
was
fancy
my
one,
question.
yeah.
If you get a look, you guys notice that he is very, very aware. And as he's laying the 3 down for you, he says, my friend, would you like something more and he points his hand back, and you'll see on a line along the back area, you'll see a number of painted ones, and they're in different looks, different colors.
Yes, I would very much like that one. I'll take the purple. I don't
Sure,
know.
you want by just color?
Yeah,
I mean, he
like,
has one that looks like a zebra.
Oh, he's got like
Right. All right. So there's leopard print.
I'd imagine they have a lot looking like Egyptian.
Right.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And then the lower face for Anubis, Bast, Sobek.
This is my own ignorance. What is there one that's related? Is there an Egyptian god related to medicine specifically?
There is.
I don't remember which one it is. Okay, can I say I take that one and I'll look it up later?
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. I should know it too. But all right. So he'll say, "Oh, good choice, my friend." And then you know how to work medicine. Then.
Yes, of course I do. I'm a doctor back where I'm from.
And do you specialize? I have heard. It is Imhotep. Wow. Okay. There we go. It is Imhotep, one of the Greek conversion gods.
Awesome. Then yes.
So he says, and have you worked in prosthesis?
Yes, I've done some work with that. I'm a surgeon by trade, but I've done all manner of medicine. But yes, I could do pretty much anything.
So he, Abbas! And a younger person, you're guessing 10, 12 years old, comes out. Horribly mangled arm. No hand. Part of the forearm has been cut, and as he gets closer, and he's rather ashamed, he comes out kind of holding it. But Abasi says, look at my poor nephew. Can you do something for him? And he says, go. And the little one comes up to you and turns, but very shamefully turns his head away.
So isn't it a recent wound, or like his arm is mangled, like something happened in the past?
Something happened in the past. Give me your medicine roll.
Finally get to do some medicine. Let's see here. That's gonna be, what's my medicine? 19.
19.
good.
So you're guessing somewhere within the last 3
Are you doing a
years,
spite
probably
roll?
closer to 3 years than 2. It looks like it was chopped off.
His arm was?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yep, but it does not look like a nice, clean. It does not look surgical. It was cut at an angle. The bone you can see has blackened. He may have some trouble in the future from it. It looks like it was cauterized with potentially sticking it directly in fire. It looks horrible.
And this is a child, you said, right?
This is a 12-year-old.
Okay, that's
10 to 12, probably 12.
No, that's gonna twang on my heart a little bit. So I'll see if, I mean, is there anything? I don't even know if there's much. I could do some surgery on him.
You could clean it. You could potentially clean it up and reset the cuts, but it would mean more cutting.
Prosthesis wise, I mean, I would need supplies for that. Do I even?
Do you carry anything like that? Not
No,
to my knowledge.
No, I don't. I say,
Right.
well, bossy. I mean, this is and I'll get down. I'll say, may I?
So he will move away from you, but it will again lift it up.
No.
And just as you take the arm, all of you are going to hear somebody yell, and Bossy looks up. I'm sure all of you do, and now there's quite a bit of yelling, and this is different than the noises that you've heard. And you're hearing a definite loud word being said over and over, and you'll see maybe a 13, 14-year-old boy and maybe a slightly younger female come running past you. Wolf, go ahead and give me a coordination roll. Ray and Ayden, you know what's being yelled. It's stop.
Let's see. I got 12.
So you're able to just bend out of the way. Are either the two of you reacting?
If I can, I'm going to try to stop both of them.
Very good. So go ahead and give me a coordination roll.
Okay.
Ray?
Yeah, I try and stop him.
Okay, give me a coordination roll as well.
That's 9, 4, so 16.
Okay.
Oh wow, you actually did better than me this time. Of course, I wasn't paying attention. That's an 8.
All right. So you're Ray. You step in front of him, try and stop him, and both of them kind of skitter around you. For the rest of you, you can see sweat beading off of their faces. You're not sure what's in their hands because they've been pumping so fast, and now they're moving through the crowd of you, but they have at least one thing in each of their hands, possibly both hands have something in it. Ray misses. You are able, Ayden, to grab the two of them, and very quickly you guys will see two of these guards come up and say something to you, and what they say to you is they say, "Good, wonderful," and they will grab.
Well, my apologies. My niece and nephew here, I had sent them to go get this, and they are dense, slow. And I'll look at them and I'll be like,
They are breathing. They are barely catching their breath. They are pulling and pulling and pulling.
I'm going to gently squeeze more.
Yep.
Now.
What are they holding? Can we see?
Not yet. They've got their hands down. The child that was with you, Dr. Wright, as soon as they came in space, disappeared, pulled out of your grip, and you see him nowhere.
Oh my.
And then I'm going to say, now, give to him what you took.
And they are just shaking. And the two of them said, you say, again, we're speaking in Egyptian.
Right.
So the rest of you, other than Ray, are not catching this. He says, you say niece and nephew.
Yes.
Do you
Third removed.
What did you send them to get? And the kids are still, they're starting to jump and try and bounce away from you as hard as they can.
Well, I sent them to fetch some drinks for my friend, but apparently at that point I'm gonna grab their hands.
Yep.
And I'll try to do something to pry their hands open. What's in there?
Okay. So each of them, as you turn it open, and everyone else is going to see that, each of them is holding a golden scarab beetle. It's not it's a thing, a trinket. It's not a living thing.
Right.
All right.
I'm gonna basically say something like, oh Allah, please be, please have mercy on them, kind of thing. And I'm gonna make them fall to the ground, and I would say, who did you take this from? Both of you.
All right. So go ahead and give me an etiquette roll.
I do not have etiquette, so.
So you just straight rolling 2 dice.
Yeah. Okay.
Would charm apply in that case? Or?
Nope.
So I got a 4.
You got a 4.
You gonna keep it? We got.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Shall we?
spend one.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead and
Spend
drop
a
one
chip
out.
for me. So that's 11.
Okay, so you're going to go with the 11?
Yeah.
All right. So the kids, you can tell the kids are still pulling at you as best they can. Neither one of them is speaking. They're, and they're still pulling away. He says, they were stolen from the merchant. And he tells you the merchant down the ways, and each of the guards will step forward and grab the trinkets out of their hands. And then grab the children from you. Each grab the arm.
Please, friend.
When they grab the kids, I put my hands on my weapons.
Okay?
Please, friend. I have visitors from out of town, and they have become their, extravagant lifestyle and dress is obviously.
And at this point, for the first time, for the rest of you guys, as he's gesticulating, you'll notice that both guards take a moment to really look at each of you. You'll notice that Abasi has his head completely bowed down. He's not even looking.
I will, if you would be so kind, please let me deal with this. And I will personally go to the shopkeep and apologize for my actions.
So the first one kind of looks at you, and you know how this goes. It's all about greasing palms.
Right.
So the second one, however, says, no, they must come with us now.
So
you may come with us as their uncle to stand for them, but you do understand what that means.
So.
And yes, you do.
Right.
If they are found to be wrong, you'll suffer the punishment that they will.
Right. So I'm going to turn to Ray and say, can you hold these two for a second?
Yeah, I can
In
hold
English.
Okay.
And then I'll turn to him and I will
So you're going to pass them hand to hand.
Right.
All right, Ray, give me a vitality roll.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I think you need to change that die out because it's one spice roll.
Why don't you spend a chip?
So Ty, we have 2 ways to do it. One is we do keep the character points in the center. It's a group pool that maxes out at 6. It allows you to completely re-roll. Option 2 is the highest level of your corruption in total is the number of times you can re-roll during the game. So if you have a corruption of 1, 1, and 2, you can re-roll 2 times. Even if you have 3 1s, you can only re-roll once. But you have that option.
I'm cool with using a chip.
I
You
would
can use the
encourage
chip.
you to use a chip.
Yeah, and
They're babies.
am I stuck rolling vitality? Because I mean,
On this particular one, yes.
okay,
That's a lot better.
yeah, that is better. So that makes it a 15. 14.
Okay.
14.
So you are the transfer of the girl is easy. You have her. The transfer of the boy, he slips out of your hand as you're passing and darts away. The one who was obviously looking for the handout, he's still looking at you, but the other one, quick as you guys have ever seen, takes his sword, throws it.
Ooh.
I think me and Frankie might have to roll our to keep from throping out because this is a stressful situation.
Okay, and it slits through the back of the child, dropping him and pinning him to the ground.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
And we're going to end right there.
Oh shit!
Oh, no!
Oh shit!
No!
All right, I guess we're murdering this caravan.
This whole bazaar is
All right.
going down.
Done.
So for everybody, go ahead and take 2 experience for the night,
What
Oh.
and we'll start next week.
Okay.
All right.
terrible.
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments. And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.